NFT Explained. Interested in decentralized digital collectibles? Want to learn why non-fungible tokens are the future of the digital ownership? Okay, it is time to get down to business. Welcome to our new show, Metaverse. For this video, I will try to explain the world of non-fungible tokens. The non-fungible tokens or NFTs, as we refer to them in the crypto. Let's get started. So there's some super strange stuff happening online right now and I need to tell you about it. First, look at this tweet. The first tweet ever tweeted in the history of Twitter. The tweet was by Jack Dorsey, and this tweet was somehow just purchased for $2,915,835.47. And it's not just a tweet. Just last month, a single JPEG sold for $69 million. The NBA is selling little moments of basketball games for hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is all sorts of digital things that people are purchasing, a version of them for lots of money. There are three simple letters that we need to understand and what's going on here. Those letters are NFT. Now let's take a look at the most recent internet craze. This story is much bigger, a $600,000 cat GIF or a $3 million tweet. It's a story about human psychology and how the way we value things is shifting because of technology. A technology that some believe has the potential to change our civilization while also hastening the climatic crisis. It's insane, all of these things combined. The term NFT stands for Non-Fungible Token. Doesn't it make sense to have a non-fungible token? For a moment, think about the word fungible. Economists employ the very precise term, which has a very specific definition. For a minute, I'd like to call fungible something else. Let's just call it replaceable, as opposed to non-fungible, which refers to anything that can't be replaced because there is only one of it. It's not interchangeable. Let's say you want to buy an orange jacket. You want to buy an orange jacket from Uniqlo. You go online and find a jacket for $39. If you pay $39 for one of these coats, you don't care which one they send you. They'll create thousands of jackets in your size. Send them to the retailers, send them to the customers, and they'll send one to you, regardless of which one that looks exactly like the others. They're interchangeable. Everything in our economy is one of the other, fungible or non-fungible. A sack of rice is fungible. You just want a sack of rice. You don't care which one it is. The Mona Lisa? Non-fungible. There's only one. Unsurprisingly, non-fungible things are way more valuable than fungible things. That's what NF in NFT, non-fungible. Let us now discuss the T, which stands for token. This is really internety term. Assume I wish to buy 3 pizza slices from my friend Anna. She charges me $6 for these 3 slices. I don't use cash anymore, so I pull out my debit card, my bank card, and I swipe on her little terminal. As soon as I swipe this card, a message is sent to my bank and it says, "Hey Kazel, who has an account at your bank wants to spend $6 on pizza, and that money needs to go to Jess's bank." This is like the bread and butter of what a bank does all day. They document every transaction that comes in from all their customers. They send out money to the other banks, and at the end of the day, they have a tally of all the money that went out of your bank and into your bank, and they can give you a number. They can say, based on these transactions, you have $50 in your bank account. And so, when the request comes in as I swipe my card, my bank is like, okay, based on all your transactions, you have $50 in your account. I can send $6 to Jess's bank, approve. They also agreed to the transactions. When the money arrives at Jess's bank follows suit. They say, oh cool, she had $80 before and now she has $86 and it's on her record. Your money is becoming more a number on a screen. It's the outcome of several deals. You don't barter with tangible items as much as you do with cash. As a result, keeping thorough records of each transaction becomes critical. We have faith in the bank to handle things responsibly. So, banks to you. Banks and other middlemen have been keeping stuffs like this running smoothly for centuries. I mean, kind of smoothly. With the rise of the internet, people started to wonder, is there a way that we could do the same thing? Coordinate with the same transaction of transfer of money between two people without the bank? The result is a very clever concept called blockchain. The blockchain. The blockchain accomplishes the same task as the bank, but instead of doing it discreetly on my account and communicating with Jessa's bank, all transactions are logged openly on the internet. Let's reenact this scenario in the crypto world. For my 3 slices of pizza, Jessa cost me 6 crypto coins. Yes, I want to pay you 6 coins. So I go swipe my figurative bank card. Instead of the bank seeing the request for a transaction and trying to validate it goes on this public record where a bunch of people's computers all around the world are keeping track of every single transaction of everyone always. If I don't have the 6 coins in my account to pay Jessa, everyone's computers that keeps track of everyday single transaction will notice. They'll say things like, whoa, you don't have 6 coins. We've checked every single transaction and you don't have 6 coins. Your transaction have been turned down. If I do have 6 coins, every machine scanning but public record will spot my request for a transaction and say, yep, approved. And now you have 6 coins, whereas Jessa now has 6 coins. They'll also report the transaction in the public record. Everyone now knows Jessa has more 6 coins. The point here is that the group validates the authenticity of each transaction by observing each one to ensure that it adds up. So, what exactly does the blockchain and its public record have to do with $600,000 CAT GIF? Okay, I am about to tell you something. So in my pizza example, we discussed blockchain as a method of confirming financial transactions. I pay you this much, you pay me this much, and everyone knows how much each of us has because everything is open to the public. But here's where my mind starts to wonder. What if we apply this to something other than money or currency? Let's say one day you're just looking at the ledger and the ledger's like, Kazel wants to give Jessa 6 coins. Okay, she's got 6 coins. Approved. And then a transaction comes up that the Malaysian businessman wants to give $3 million worth of coins to Eds Jones in exchange for a little token or digital certificate that says that the tweet is now somehow owned by the Malaysian businessman. The only thing that the blockchain cares about is, does the Malaysian businessman have $3 million worth of coins? And so a bunch of computers all around the world look at the whole entire list of transactions and say like, yeah, this guy has more than $3 million worth of coins. Approved. They approved the transaction and now it is written in a public record that it is unalterable. That says that this Malaysian businessman owns this tweet. The token has been transferred to somebody new. Non-Fungible Token, NFT. And if there's anything that makes human psychology value anything, it's when a complete group confirms that it's real and that just one of them exists. There are tens of thousands of different types of NFTs. Some music is given tokens and a lot of art is coined as tokens and sold. And then there's Top Shot in the NBA. Who is profiting from this? Your favorite NBA players' highlights moments and Top Shot moments have been turned into non-fungible tokens. Jesse recently made headlines after paying $208,000 for a LeBron James Top Shot. It's the weirdest thing. The next frontier is to generate value and thinks that no inherent value after humans have enough abundance to meet their basic requirements, such as food, housing, warmth, and so on. The worth becomes psychological hype, excitement over a specific topic. We've been doing it for a long time. In fact, the entire art industry is founded on a group of people agreeing that this painting, this small piece of canvas and wood with paint is valuable. And so it is valuable. The only difference now is that we have the technology to accomplish it in a non-physical manner using this advanced internet technology that is rapidly evolving. Okay, so So this is a lot of type, and I know you're thinking like, cool, there's a bunch of rich people online buying and trading digital art, and there's millions of dollars worth of cards. I thought you said that this was going to have a potential to change the world. And I'm getting there, but first, I need to talk about the crazy flip side to the NFT fad. The reality is that the technology that is the backbone for all of this, the blockchain stuff that we've been talking about, relies on the public ledger thing that I talked about. That is the sort of heart and soul conceptually, but mechanically, like physically, what it relies on is computers doing a bunch of little calculations all day and night forever. These computers aren't genuine computers. They lack memory, displays, and other features. All they do all day and night is perform small micro calculations. The majority of NFT are held on the Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain, for example, is currently using 33 terawatt-hours of electricity as of early May 2022. And you're probably wondering what a terawatt-hour of power is. That's roughly the same amount of power as Serbia. A reminder that electricity is typically generated by power stations that burn the fossil fuel, releasing carbon into the environment, which is a major problem, facing a man-made disaster on a global scale. The Ethereum blockchain's power consumption is booming, having quadrupled in the last 8 months and showing no signs of slowing down. It takes a lot of effort, and to think that so much energy isn't being utilized to do things that move people around or make products, but instead is being used to crunch numbers in some strange computer warehouse somewhere so that someone can buy a pony token of a thing that we only have. Oh man, I can't believe it. It's such an ironic moment where it's like, this is all digital. It's all fake. It's not real, but it's having deeply real-world effects. These speculation markets, after all, are all about the hype. This is something we used all the time with new technologies and new things that people are interested in. And as a result of their investments, the price rises and something happens. For example, in the 90s, the internet was taking off and people were just realizing that you could make money on the internet. You could make big business on the internet. The stock market was surging 400% in 5 years, mainly fueled by so much hype and excitement around these new internet companies. This rise peaked in March of 2000s, and then the bubble burst, and a lot of these companies either went under or completely lost all this excitement valuation that they had. But did that imply that internet was vanished? Did this imply that the internet enterprises were no longer viable? No. Companies, on the other hand, moved on to transform our world. I believe we are currently in that state of NFTs. It's hype, it's new, it's thrilling, but what it's really doing is forcing our minds to reconsider how we validate and verify information. When I buy a house, there is a mountain of paperwork and a slew of middlemen to ensure that it is crystal obvious who owns the property and how money is passed from one person to the next. It's been an absolute nightmare. If technology existed that eliminate the centralized middleman and allowed for authorized, verifiable, and far smoother transactions between people, or society would be transformed. I'm not here to predict whether the bubble will collapse or not. I have no idea. I simply know that we're in the midst of a wild period where we're trying to wrap our heads around a new technology and what it means, and that will eventually adapt. This won't be crazy, this won't be Nobel anymore. Prices will go down, but the technology that allowed it all to happen will probably stick around. Now, what can you say about these NFT or non-fungible tokens? Please let me know by leaving a comment down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you on our next video.